I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you anyway, because you'll explain it better than I would. I would just explain my frustrated filmmaker side. I've been on sets where suddenly we bought too many cans of soda, apparently, and we went over budget, right? And it's those little things that add up, especially with food items. And what happens when you start going over budget? Like and then you may not really have an answer to this because obviously it's different on every set, but I mean, how do you deal with that? Like as a line producer, do you go to the producer and go, you messed up, or we're screwed, or like, we have no money to feed anybody tomorrow? I mean, what, how is it really handled?
It can come to that. Hopefully it doesn't. So when you're at the budgeting stage, you always want to have a contingency. That's a little bit of money set aside. It's usually a percentage of the total budget. So in other words, if your budget is $20,000, 10% of that, $2,000, is set aside in an item called contingency. And that's for all of the things that you couldn't count on happening. So PA gets into a car accident and you start 3 hours late. I'm just listing things that have happened.
No. Every film I've been on, there's been some kind of fender bender or something. It's those stupid trucks, but go on.
Yep. I had a tire blowout on me on a truck when we were doing a return. I had to rent I had a location agreement for 12 hours and I had to go an hour over because we blew a circuit, or no, there was some traffic outside that like just was totally horrible and we couldn't get any good sound for like a whole hour. So we lost a whole hour. So it's all the things that you can't control. So if you're going into the project with that 10% margin, that does help you a little bit, so if you buy too many sodas, like that can come out of the contingency. I mean, that's not ideal, but like, the other thing that's supposed to happen is that if you're the line producer, you and the producer are talking about the money every day. And like, if you're not too exhausted when I wasn't too exhausted at the end of the day, I would try to put in receipts and generate a hot cost report, which is like a comparison between what was budgeted and what we spent so far, and then what's left.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I just remember the producer on set. We didn't have the line producer on set. You actually did the budget for the film, but we didn't have you on set. So the producer was wearing many hats with a small team helping her. So I'm not blaming her for this at all, but she was definitely every day like, we'll just put that in the contingency budget. We'll just take that from the contingency. And then one day I was like, we just bought a dolly for an extra day for like $1,000. How's our contingency? And she's like, it's contingency.
Yeah. I mean, that means
it was gone. And that's when you start like just falling off. Like you really do need someone keeping track.